Hi, Greg here again with another awkward beer review, or perhaps two. First up, I'd like to give a shout out and a big thanks to Phil Cook. He gave me a mention on his last beer blog, and I'm utterly flattered that he's enjoying these. I hope some of you out there are also. This started off as just, as I've said before, just something to do. I promised that I'd do a beer review on camera, and I did, and I've kind of carried on. Perhaps I'll keep going for a while now that I'm hearing people like it. That's cool. Those of you who have seen YouTube lately will have noticed that I've been absent for quite some time. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I've just had a lot on. I have done my channel up with a nice, awesome looking, terrible, awkward logo to go with the terrible, awkward content. So I hope you enjoy that too. Right, and in an extremely strange segue, as a result of chatting on Phil's blog and some probably rather harsh comments I made regarding Dr. Hops beer, Nikki from Dr. Hops has sent me a bottle. So that's awesome. Thank you, Nikki. I'm really looking forward to this. I've commented in the past, and it sounds like I may have just had bad experiences of oxidised bottles. General opinion on rate beer and Untapped and so on seems to be fairly positive, so I'm looking forward to finding out for myself. So without further ado, I shall crack this one open. Oh, nice satisfying fresh hiss there. And I must admit, Phil's not a big fan of the branding. I actually think it's awesome. I really enjoy it. The thing I don't like is that, as we've discussed in depth, it doesn't really say anything about Nikki herself or anything about the actual brewery. It's all a made-up character, sort of steampunkish theme, which is great. I mean that's a branding decision. I like to know who's making my beers and where they're coming from. But enough personal politics. Let's get down to the beer. Ooh, she's pouring. Whoa, that is a lot of head. Now that might be my fault. I'm just looking at this glass I've got, and it has been sitting in the cupboard for a while, and possibly could have been cleaner. I might pour a little more, and then by the magic of editing, let that head settle down for a bit. Right, I'll be back with you in a blink of your eye. Okay, we're back again. As you can see, it's settled down a little. Let's have a sniff. Okay, that's interesting. I have a horrible feeling my bad luck may be continuing, Nikki. This one, there's a smell, a slightly sour, slightly tart smell to it. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. It could be, for all I know, but from what I've read, it's supposed to be a pale ale. Let's have a taste. No, it's just... I'm just going to check the brewed on date. Sorry for this does not make good viewing, I'm aware of that. Best before May 13. Okay, so this was probably brewed nearly a year ago. So, okay, this is just an old beer. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's not... There's that lightly sour nose, which normally would worry me, but I'm not picking up any traces of an infection. I think it's just getting a little tired. It's not oxidised. It's actually holding off the effects of age reasonably well. There's a nice straw note underneath that sourness, and a little bit of delicate caramel. Hops are grassy. I'm not getting much beyond that grassiness. It's got a lovely full mouthfeel. Great carbonation, which is good. It's obviously holding up well for its age. Now, I must admit, please correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki, I'm making the assumption here that the best before date is a year after bottling. That might be completely wrong. It might be 6 months. I know at Bureaucracy we put 6 months on our younger beers, on our beers we want to be drunk fresh, but yeah, I'm just not certain what's happened in this case. Beautiful, firm bitterness. It really does kick in and hang around. Makes you want another one. Makes you want to keep drinking. All these things are great qualities in a beer. I guess I'll just have to, if you let me know when the next batch is out, I'll go and get a fresh one as soon as I see it on the shelves. But for now, I think I'll finish this and move on to the next beer. Cheers. Okay, so the next beer we have here, Galbraiths Strong Ale. Now, a few of you who might recognise Galbraiths, maybe not overseas people, but New Zealanders certainly will. They were one of, not quite New Zealand's first brew pub, but certainly up there in the first runnings. I believe the Shakespeare, also in Auckland, was New Zealand's first brew pub. Galbraiths was probably a close second, I would say. I remember going there, it would have been 95, 96, and I don't think they'd been open long before that. These are the things I should really know, but I just don't. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a beer that I first had at Galbraiths with Ian the brewer and a group of friends on Christmas Eve? No, Boxing Day. And I was a bit put off by it, to be honest. It was quite funky, not quite, well, not as the label described it, shall we say. Almost sour, a little vinegary. What's happened to it now is amazing. I had some of this the other night and I thought it really needed a video review because this is probably one of the most incredible beers I've ever had in New Zealand. Perhaps Red Zone Enigma might trump it. Right, let's pop this baby open. It's also worth noting that Ian, the brewer at Galbraiths, for a very long time, is retiring. And he's being replaced by the extremely capable Sam. And the beers are just absolutely on form right now. So if you have a chance to pop into Galbraiths, I think you should. The beers are just blowing my mind at the moment. Right, here we have... Okay, so this is an intensely malty beer with a full sensory experience that grabs your attention with the first mouthfeel. Bottle conditioned, so it will keep getting better. Now, on that note, I reckon there's some bugs in here. I'm not sure what the bugs are, but I'm not certain it will keep getting better forever. But that's just my opinion. Buy some bottles, prove me wrong. I've got a case. Let's have a look. So it's a hazy ruby, it's almost brown, caramel coloured head. Oh, that takes me back. It's like walking into the foodra room at Rodenbach, where you've got miles and miles of these great big wooden foodras, and just the smell of cherry and vinegar and just all these strange aromas combining in a way that just makes your mouth instantly start salivating. Mine is. Right, let's have a taste of this. Oh, that's fantastic. It is almost puckeringly sour. It has a beautiful, beautiful cherry wood, not cherries themselves, but cherry wood, underlying woody, malty note. There is some of that acetic vinegar, but not in a bad way, just absolutely wrapping around and coddling the beer. The malt is complex, amazing. The alcohol is there, but very well hidden. It's got a nice warmth to it as it goes down, but it's not. You're not going to drink this and think, "Oh, I'm going to be in trouble now." Although you will be at 9%. That is a work of art. I hope it's intentional. I have no idea. And Ian, I'm sorry if it's not as you intended, and I maybe am saying things that you don't like. But all I can tell you is I love this beer. The reason I suspect it may not be intentional is I know you're not keen on Brettanomyces, and there's definitely some Brett going on in here. There's also perhaps some pedio, but I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about at this point, these are just bugs. Brettanomyces is a wild yeast, Pediococcus is a bacteria. Look them up, they produce amazing flavours in beer when done right, and terrible flavours in beer when done wrong. This is certainly in the done right category. Right, I'm going to go and sit in a comfy chair and enjoy the rest of this bottle. Hopefully it won't be so long until the next beer review. Guys, thanks as always for the continuing support. Thanks for keeping watching. Cheers.